The following matchup is presented and played with Hockey Blast Express, a product of Play Games LLC, copyright 2023, all rights reserved. Welcome to this week's episode of the Hockey Blast Express Hour. In today's episode, we have another great matchup for you on hand as we will revisit yet another Stanley Cup Finals. This time, we will rewind back to 2018 in that historic matchup between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Washington Capitals on today's episode of Stanley Cup Finals Rewind. In real life, the Capitals won the Stanley Cup, but for Vegas, this was their first trip to the Cup final in franchise history. Will Vegas capture Lord Stanley for the first time, or will Washington repeat history here on the tabletop? Stay tuned for Puck Drop for Game 1 coming up next. But first, let's say a little thanks and a little hello and a little thanks to our official Play Games sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of the Hockey Blast Express Hour. We would like to take the time to send out a special thanks to our Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode. Today's episode of the Hockey Blast Express Hour is brought to you in part by Bitty Beer. They say it's a blend of hops, rice, and barley that gives Bitty Beer its distinctive taste. But we know better. It's our brewing process that gives our beer that one-of-a-kind flavor that no premium beer can match. Our vats have never been clean, so there's an itty bit of history in every can. Bitty Beer, the beer for folks who can't afford better. And we remind you, if you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. And by Doc Cola, the official cola beverage of the Play Games community. Doc Cola uses the finest imitation ingredients that bring you that sugary blast of caffeine you've come to know and love. With twice the sugar and 3 times the caffeine of any other major brand, Doc Cola is sure to keep you wired from dawn until dusk. So, while you're at it, take the Doc Cola challenge and see where our customers agree you'll never be able to wean yourself from refreshing Doc Cola. And by Ice Brew, the official brewery choice of the Play Games community. Brewed in the frozen tundra of northern Wisconsin, Ice Brew is a beer made for sports fans and tailgating. Our 150-year-old family recipe is brewed to make the most of every ingredient. We use hops, barley, wheat, corn, rice, oats, quinoa, spelt, malt, and sunflower seeds blended together with the finest water shipped in from the shores of Lake Michigan. One sip, and you'll agree there's nothing like Ice Brew. And by Pizza Kingdom, the official pizza joint of the Play Games community. At Pizza Kingdom, our signature New York pizza starts with the crust when we layer on our homemade pizza sauce, then load your pizza up with mounds of cheese. When it comes out of the oven, it's piping hot, golden brown, and ready for you to enjoy. And we give that majestic culinary work of art to Mikey, our 16-year-old delivery driver, who is as responsible as a tree stump. Pizza Kingdom. It was sure perfection when it's left in the store. And we are about set and ready to go for game 1 of this Stanley Cup Finals Rewind matchup between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Washington Capitals. A little history behind this matchup. This was the first time that these two teams meet in the Stanley Cup Final. Vegas, this is their first trip to the Stanley Cup Finals in their inaugural season. To be honest with you, I would say in their inaugural season. Washington. This is Washington's first trip to the finals. I want to say since 1990. I want to say like the late 90s when they got swept and shut the door down by the Detroit Red Wings as the Red Wings went on to win the 98 Cup, went on to win, I believe it was 98, when the Red Wings went on to win the Stanley Cup final, and now they are back in the finals for the first time. I'm hopefully to exercise some demon. Hopefully that Washington in this cup final, Washington did beat Vegas 4 games, I believe, in five. Yes, in 5 games, and it was Ovechkin's first Stanley Cup. To be honest with y'all. So with that being said, let's see if we can make some either make history or repeat history as your netminders for game one are as the netminders for all 3 games are going to be Braden Holtby for the Capitals, and at the other end of the ice, Marc-Andre Fleury for the Golden Knights of Vegas. With that being said, let's get the puck dropped and play some hockey. We kick things off with a quality check between players 4 and 5. That's Tom Wilson and Shea Theodore. The quality we're looking for is speed. Shea Theodore has speed, so he's going to skate on into Braden Holtby to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop. He can't, and the Vegas Golden Knights get on the board courtesy of Shea Theodore. And we stay put in the segment with another quality check. This time it'll be between Brett Connolly and Riley Smith, both players in 5. The quality we're looking for is hit. Neither player has hit, and we will move on to the next segment here in this one. We start the next segment with a quality check between players 1 and 3. That's Nicholas Backstrom and Derek England. The quality we're looking for is hit. It looks like Derek England has hit, so he's going to skate on into Braden Holtby to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop. He won't, and Braden Holtby did not make the save as Derek England puts the puck in the back of the net as the Golden Knights come out roaring. It's a 2-0 lead for the Knights. Home scoring chance of a 22, and it reads, visitor goalie must make spec save. Marc-Andre Fleury was known for a couple of these over his career, but can he do it here and right now? A 1, 2, or 3 will do so. Which he will do so. Nobody flips, and we will move on to the next segment. Visitor scoring chance of a 13, and it reads, home goalie must make play save. Braden Holtby needs to come through here. A 1, 2, or 3 will do so. My gosh. 3-0 Vegas. And let's see who scores. The game's third goal. 5. Okay, choice player. Whenever this happens, I'm going to roll the red die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will be a reroll. 3, that's Braden McNabb. Braden McNabb will score the goal for the Knights, and right away the Washington Capitals are going to call time their timeout this early in the contest, hopefully to get something going here and on track. And again, while they're doing that, for this and all episodes of Stanley Cup Finals Rewind, um, I mentioned this in the last episode of the Stanley Cup Final Rewind between Tampa Bay and Colorado, in which Tampa Bay won uh, the matchup. Won't spoil it. I encourage you to go watch it. Um, for both teams, I went online to see who played in the actual Stanley Cup Final, and that's what you're seeing right now out on the table. Um, only one problem is no injuries to players or anything. So if you played in the final, you're playing in no matter what in this contest. So in this case here, if we go to a triple sixes for a home scoring chance, uh, not only will a choice home player score a goal, but we will um, ignore any injury rolls or a triple ones. We will the home goalie must make a play save, and we will not tend to an injury. So that way it will flow the game on a little bit further. So it looks like we are ready to resume play, and here we go. Home scoring chance of a 35, and it reads home player in three, that's Evgeny Kuznetsov. He creates a goal opportunity with a quality roll of power or a triangle. Yes, and yes, Evgeny Kuznetsov does have power, and he does have a triangle, as he will skate on into the great Marc-Andre Fleury to hopefully net a 1, 2, 3, or 4 to make the stop, which he will do so. And that is going to be it for that segment. And we will move on to the next one. Quality check between players 2 and 5. That's Dmitry Orlov and Thomas Nosek. The quality we're looking for is smart. Dmitry Orlov is going to win the battle for smart, as he will skate on in a Marc-Andre Fleury to hopefully net a 1, 2, 3, or 4 to make the stop, which he will do so. And that is going to be all she wrote for the first period. And after an eventful first period, the Vegas Golden Knights lead game one of this Stanley Cup Finals by a score of 3-0 as both teams head to the locker room after the first 20 minutes of this hockey game here for game one of the Stanley Cup Finals Rewind. We are just about ready to set to go for the second period, as we have a quality check between both players in one. William Karlsson and Lars Eller will be the players in question to be looking at. The quality we're looking for is skill. And it looks like Eller and Karlsson both have skill. And we will be moving on to the next segment here in this one. Quality check between players of anybody in the ice for the Capitals, and player number 4, that's David Perron. The quality we're looking for is power. It's going to be a tie either way, so pick your poison between Carlson, Orpik, Beagle, Smith Pelly, and Matt Niskanen. I think we're going to go with Matt Niskanen. So Matt Niskanen will be the player in question to tie David Perron, as both players have power. And that is going to be it for that segment, and we'll move on to the next one. Visitor scoring chance of a 26. Choice visitor player rolls for a goal using assist stars +2. You better believe it. I'm going to give it to Jonathan Marchessault, as he needs to roll a 1, 2, 3, or 4 to score the goal. He does, and that is going to be a 4-0 lead for the Washington Capitals. a 4-0 lead for the Golden Knights, and let's see how far the Washington coach can drag this on out for Braden Holtby. Quality check between players 5 and 3. That's Christian Juice and Derek England. The quality we're looking for is smart. Derek England has smart, so he's going to skate on into Braden Holtby to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop. He does so to keep this game right where it's at as we head to the final segment of the second period. Visitor scoring chance of a 16. Home goalie must make shot save. Oh man, Braden Holtby needs to net a 1 or a 2 with a dot to make the stop. He does so to keep this game right within reach, hopefully, as we head to the third period with the Vegas Golden Knights leading the Washington Capitals here in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals Rewind by a score of 4-0. We start the third with a quality check between anybody in the ice for the Capitals against player number 1. That is Colin Miller. The quality we're looking for is power. Man, pick your poison. How about we go with Brooks Orpik? I know I'm giving up a lot of qualities here. I'm giving up a lot of symbols here, but I don't want to make some choices here. So we'll go with Orpik and Miller. Both he and Miller will tie for power, and that's going to be it for that segment. And we will move on to the next one. Penalty check between anybody in the ice for the Capitals against player number 1. That's Eric Holla. At this rate, I do want to give the Washington Capitals a chance to come back in this game. So that's what I think that's what we're going to do. So Eric Holla is going to haul off to the box as either Beagle or Stevenson is going to take the opportunity. It'll be Beagle. And it will be Beagle. So Beagle will skate on into Marc-Andre Fleury to hopefully net a 1, 2, 3, or 4 to make the stop. He can't, and the Capitals get on the board courtesy of Jay Beagle, and it will be considered to be a power play goal. We stay put in this segment with a quality check between players 5 and 2. Chandler Stevenson and Cody Eakin are going to be your players in question. The quality that we're looking for is skill. Both Stevenson and Eakin both have skill. So, therefore, we will head off to the next segment with the Vegas Golden Knights up on top by a score of 4-1. Visitor scoring chance of a 46. Any visitor player with a power play circle star symbol creates a power play goal. Yes, William Karlsson does have that power play circle star symbol out there. So he's going to skate on into Braden Holtby to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop. He won't, and it's 5-1, courtesy of William Karlsson. And we will consider it to be a power play goal. Penalty check between players number 3 and 1. That is TJ Oshie and Colin Miller. Both players have the same penalty rating of 0.5. And we will move on to the next segment here in this one. Another penalty check. This time it'll be between players 1 and 3. The quality we're looking, penalty check. Sorry. Both John Carlson, and Braden McNabb both have the same penalty rating of 0.5, and that is going to be your ball game, folks. The final score here for Game 1, Vegas takes a 1-0 series and 1-0 matchup lead as they beat Washington by a final score of 5-1. Stay tuned for the game summary presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. If you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. As always, it has great taste. At a bitty price, it's Bitty Beer. And also stay tuned for the key plays of game one. And we will have game two setting up next. That will be set it up in just moments as we head off to Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena for game two of the Stanley Cup Finals Rewind. What a game one that we had just witnessed in this episode of the Hockey Blast Express Hour for Stanley Cup Finals Rewind as we revisit the 2018 finals between the Vegas Golden Knights, Washington Capitals. For Vegas, of course, as mentioned earlier, would be their first cup, their first trip to the final in franchise history. And your game summary is as follows, presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. Jake Theodore would net a goal for Vegas. Of course, Derek England would as well. Jonathan Marchessault would fame as well as William Karlsson, but Karlsson's would come on the power play. Eric Holla would be the lone guy to take the penalty for Vegas, and unfortunately, he would fall victim to an opposing power play goal that was scored by Jay Beagle. Your quality check wins are as follows: as Shea Theodore would net win for speed, Derek England would net a win for hit and smart, Dmitry Orlov would net a win for smart. Of course, for the Washington Capitals, no penalties would come through for their side. Your key plays of the game are presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. The first period, of course, after scoring the goal from Derek England, Marc-Andre Fleury would stop Washington in their tracks to keep the score at 2-0. He would make a key back save. In the second period, not long afterwards, 15th minute, and looking for back-to-back goals after Jonathan Marchessault would score his, Derek England would win the quality check win, but unfortunately, Braden Holtby would stop him and Vegas in their tracks with a play save of his own to keep the score at a 4-0 lead for Vegas, which will allow Jay Beagle to score moments in the third period. I would think some, yes, in the third period of the 10th minute would Jay Beagle score the lone power play goal for Washington. And of course, nothing would come up in the third period as far as key plays. Those are your key plays of the game, presented as always by your favorite Bitty Beer products. Here are your 3 stars of the game from game number one. Of course, star number 3 would go to Marc-Andre Fleury as he would net the win, and 28 would net, an unofficial 28 saves. Jay Theodore would take home the honors for star number 2 as he would net a goal and a quality check win. Of course, star number 1 would be, of course, Derek England. He would net 2 quality check wins as well as scoring a goal. He would have been closer to 2 goals and 2 quality check wins had Braden Holtby not make the important play save to keep the game at a 4-0 advantage. That's a wrap on game number 1. What's going to happen? I wonder what's going to happen in game 2. I guess you're going to find out. So stay tuned because puck drop for game 2 is coming up next. Yeah, we are just about ready and set to go for game 2 of this Stanley Cup Finals Rewind matchup between the 2017-18 Vegas Golden Knights and the 2017-18 Washington Capitals. A rewind back to the Stanley Cup Finals from 2018. As you can see, the Knights lead this Stanley Cup Finals Rewind series by winning last game by a score of 5-1. And let me tell you, the Capitals, that they look to shock the world when they won the cup here on the tabletop. They got to dig down deep to find a way to scuffle Marc-Andre Fleury, who's in net for Vegas, as Braden Holtby looks to bounce back here in game 2 to hopefully set up a winner-take-all game, or otherwise Vegas could go for the sweep in game 3. But we got game 2 to play. So with that being said, let's get the puck dropped and play some hockey. And we're going to begin with a visitor scoring chance of a 61, and it reads, any home player with a square stops a Washington goal. Unfortunately for Vegas, there is no squares out there, so Washington is going to get up on the board first. It is 1-0 Caps. Let's see who scored the goal. 5. Okay, choice player. Whenever this happens, I'm going to roll the red die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will be a reroll. 1. That's Nicholas Backstrom. So Nicholas Backstrom will score the goal for Washington, and they jump out to a 1-0 lead here in the first segment of this matchup here for game 2. Another visitor scoring chance. This time it's going to come from 35. Visitor player in 2, that's Alex Ovechkin. He creates a goal with the quality roll of smart or a triangle. Yes and yes. Alex Ovechkin is going to sneak on into his office to hopefully net a 1, 2, 3, or hopefully not to land on a 1, 2, 3, or 4 to score the goal. Which he does. Alex Ovechkin from his office fires the puck into the back of the net. And the Caps lead is now 2-0. Oh my goodness, another visitor scoring chance. This time it's a 21. Home goalie must make shot save. Marc-Andre Fleury is not known for saving many shots on the shot save. So with that being said, he needs a 2 or a 3 with a dot to do so. He won't, and the Caps will take a 3-0 lead. Let's see who scored the goal. 11, that's the player with the second best shot rating. The best out there on the ice is Evgeny Kuznetsov, and we have a tie between Lars Eller and Andrei Burakovsky. I do want to keep Eller out there just for a little bit longer, so I think we're going to give it to Andrei Burakovsky. So Andrei Burakovsky will score the third goal of the game, and all of a sudden, Vegas is going to use their timeout just like in game 1 when they jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Payback is a B. That's how they say it. As I want to keep this video under construction, or excuse me, under PG standards. So Vegas is going to take a timeout here. And again, if you are if you are just tuning in for the first time here to this Hockey Blast Express Hour episode of Stanley Cup Finals Rewind. So what I'm doing is the rosters. I looked up each team's player roster that played in the Stanley Cup Final that year, and they are out there on the board. No injury, and we are going to avoid injuries. So if any injuries come up, or excuse me, injury rolls come up, we're going to ignore those and go immediately right into the scoring chance charts for those rolls. With that being said, let's continue on here with this in the next portion of this segment. Oh my goodness, another visitor scoring chance. This time it's a 62. Any home player with a circle prevents a power play goal. Oh no. Vegas does not have a square out there, so it's going to be a 4-0 lead for the Washington Capitals. And let's see who scored it. 6. Player with the best shot rating. That's Evgeny Kuznetsov. So Kuznetsov will score a power play goal. And guys, get this. Marc-Andre Fleury was the only goalie used throughout the Stanley Cup Finals for Vegas. So with that being said, we continue on in this segment. Oh my gosh, another visitor scoring chance. It's going to be a 36. Visitor player in 3, that's Jay Beagle. He creates a goal with a quality roll of star or ace triangle. Thank God the segment is over because Jay Beagle, wait, yes, start. Jay Beagle does not have star, or does he have a triangle? So therefore, it's going to be a no action result, and we will move on to the next segment. We say hi to a quality check for speed, and it will be against anybody, and it will pit anybody in the ice for Vegas against player number 4. That's Devontae Smith Pelly. As Pelly is not going to win this one, as he does not have speed. So Eric Holla, Pierre Edward Belmar, or Jonathan Marchessault will take the honors for winning the battle for speed. I think I'm going to go with Jonathan Marchessault here. So Marchessault will skate on in to Braden Holtby to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, which he does. And we move on to the next segment here in this one. Quality check. Okay, so whenever double sixes come up, what I usually here's how I would play it. I look at the home side first, use and roll in the red die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will be a reroll. 5, that's Ryan Reeves, and his opponent will be determined by the same number by the roll of the red die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, Michael Kempney. I just had to make sure it went through. So Michael Kempney and Ryan Reeves will battle it out for hits. It looks like Ryan Reeves has hits, so he's going to move in on Braden Holtby to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, which he does. That is a close one for sure, as Braden Holtby hangs on to keep this game right where it's at, a 4-0 in favor of the Washington Capitals. Quality check between players 5 and 2. That's Tomas Tatar and Dmitry Orlov. The quality we're looking for is skill. Both Tatar and Orlov have skill. So that is going to be it for the first period, an eventful first period, as the Capitals jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Vegas called their first time. They called their timeout early in this one, hopefully to get back on track here. And all of a sudden, after the timeout, Washington scored their 4th goal of the game, and that's where we sit after 20 minutes of play, 4-0 in favor of the Washington Capitals. We begin the second period with a quality check between players 2 and 1. That's Pierre Edward Belmar and Lars Eller. The quality we're looking for is speed. Both Belmar and Eller have speed, and that is going to be all she wrote for this segment. And we will move on to the next one. Penalty check between anybody in the ice, player 1 for Vegas and anybody in the ice for the Caps. Well, either way, it's going to end up. Wait a minute. Besides Brooks Orpik, so oh man, the Saturday dot we tie, and it looks like Vegas will probably go on the power play. So, yeah, Brooks Orpik is going to go to the box, and Eric Holla is going to skate on into Braden Holtby to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, which he won't. The shutout is gone, courtesy of Eric Holla on the power play. But the Caps still lead it 4-1. We stay put in this segment with a penalty check between players 5 and 1. That's Lucas Biza and Devontae Smith Pelly. Both players have the same penalty rating of 0.5. And that is going to be it for this segment. And the ref is going to tell both these players, if I catch you doing anything stupid, you're going to the sin bin. We got ourselves a home scoring chance of a 13. Visitor goalie must make play save. So Braden Holtby needs to net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, which he won't. Vegas will score their second goal of the game and the sixth goal of this hockey game. Let's see who scored it. 7. Player with the best shot rating for Vegas. That is going to go to William Karlsson. So William Karlsson will score the second goal of the game for Vegas. And however, Washington still leads it 4-2. We stay put in this segment with a visitor scoring chance of a 54. Home player in 4, that's Jacob Vrana. He stops a, excuse me, 54. Home player. Sorry, that's James Neal. He stops a goal with a quality roll of star or a square. Although he does not have a square, he does have star printed out on his card. So that is going to be all she wrote for this segment, and we will move on to the next one. We got ourselves a quality check. This time it'll be between players 1 and 4. That's Miller and Jacob Vrana. Now we go to Vrana. The quality we're looking for is power. Both Miller and Vrana have power, and that is going to be all she wrote for the second period, but not before Vegas gets on the board. As they scored 2 goals, as they are trying to mount a comeback here against the 2017-18 Washington Capitals. Quality check between player 2 for Vegas against anyone on the ice for the Capitals. The quality is hit. You want to have a guy to challenge have almost every quality, and that is going to be Alex Ovechkin right across from him. So both Schmidt and Alex Ovechkin have hit, and that is going to be it for that segment. And we will move on to the next one. Home scoring chance of a 26. It reads, choice home player rolls for a goal using shot stars +2. Let's see here. I think I'm going to give that to Eric Holla. Yes, Eric Holla. So Eric Holla will get the opportunity here as he needs to roll a 1, 2, 3, or 4 to score the goal. Which he will not. Whoa. Braden Holtby says, not today, sir. You ain't pulling out the sneak attack on me. Not today. And with that being said, we continue on here into the next segment here with a home scoring chance of a 23. Visitor goalie must make spec save. Braden Holtby was known for a lot of spec saves during the 2017-18 season. Can he do so here? A 3 or 4 with a 3 or 4 with a dot will do so. Yes, it will. Nobody flips, and we will move on to the next segment. It's going to be a quality check again. We have double boxcars. So again, I look at the home side first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will be a reroll. 2, that's Cody Eakin, and he will be opposed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will be a reroll. 3, that's TJ Oshie. So Eakin versus Oshie for skill. Both players have skill, and that is going to be it, folks. The Washington Capitals come to Vegas, roll the dice, and they are right back in this matchup here in the Stanley Cup Finals Rewind. As we rewind, excuse me, as we rewind back to the 2018 Stanley Cup Final between the Washington Capitals and the Vegas Golden Knights. The final score here for Game 2 is Capitals 4, Golden Knights 2. With that being said, stay tuned for the game summary as well as the matchup summary so far through 2 games, as well as our key plays from Game 2, as well as our winner take all game, Game 3, coming up right after this.
Talk about an impressive bounce back win from Washington Capitals as they would take home 4-2 victory over the Vegas Golden Knights to tie up this Stanley Cup Finals Rewind matchup from revisit the 2018 Stanley Cup Final. Here is your game summary from Game 2 presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. And again, we remind you, drink Bitty Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. As always, it has big taste at a bitty price. It's beer. Vegas Golden Knights would only net 2 goals, unfortunately, for this game. Eric Holla would net his on the power play. Liam Carlson would net his second of this matchup. No penalties came from opposite from Vegas, as the only lone penalty in this game came from Brooks Orpik. He would fall victim to a opposing power play goal, which came from Eric Holla. The goal scorers for Washington were Nicholas Backstrom, Alex Ovechkin, Andrei Burakovsky, and Evgeny Kuznetsov, as Kuznetsov would score on the power play. Your quality check winners would come from Vegas of Jonathan Marchessault, who would win the battle for speed. Ryan Reeves would win the battle for hit. No quality check wins came from Washington's side. Key plays of the game are presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products, and here are some key plays. Here as we got a lot for game two. Fifth minute, of course, to start the game, Washington would score a barrage of goals to open up the game after falling victim to a 5-1 loss in game one. They would net 4 times to open up the scoring from Nicholas Backstrom, Alex Ovechkin, Andrei Burakovsky, and of course on the power play from Evgeny Kuznetsov. In the 10th and 15th minute, of course, Braden Holtby would make key back-to-back play saves. He would do so again in the third period, but first period, he would net back-to-back play saves off 2 quality check attempts and wins from Jonathan Marchessault and Ryan Reeves to keep the score at 4-0 in favor of Washington. Of course, nothing happened in second period as far as key plays are concerned. But in the third period, of course, as mentioned before, Braden Holtby would strike for another back-to-back save attempts as he would net spec save as well as a save off of Eric Holla's shot rate, yes, of his shot rating on his card. Those are your key plays of the game, and of course, they are presented by your favorite Bitty Beer product. Here are your 3 stars of the game from game two, and of course, it was really tough to decide who was going to be placed where and what, but here's what we got. Evgeny Kuznetsov would take home star number 3 for Washington as he would net the game-winning goal in the first period. Alex Ovechkin would also net a goal, and I, of course, had to add him as star number 2 of taking home the honors for star number 2. But, of course, I could have put Ovi at star number 1, but, of course, what a spectacular outing by Braden Holtby as he would net the win and make an unofficial 31 saves in game number 2, 4-2 victory over the Vegas Golden Knights. With that being said, the series is all tied up at 1 game apiece. Will Washington retain Lord Stanley, or will Vegas take home Lord Stanley for the first time in franchise history? Stay tuned to find out because game 3 is just around the corner. And you know what? It's coming up next.
And we want to welcome each and every one of you back to this episode of Stanley Cup Finals Rewind for Game 3, a winner-take-all game featuring the Vegas Golden Knights and the Washington Capitals as they battle it out in a rewind matchup to the 2018 Stanley Cup Final. With that being said, of course, as always, your starting netminders are Marc-Andre Fleury for Vegas and Braden Holtby for Washington. Both teams have won 1 game apiece, and in this game, it's all or nothing. If you ask a lot of folks, but again, the Capitals won in real life. Can they somehow repeat it on the tabletop? or otherwise Vegas is going to end up probably rewriting history, and as they would win their first Stanley Cup in their inaugural season. With that being said, let's play some hockey. Let's drop the puck. And we're going to begin with a quality check. And again, just like we ended last game, we start this game. So again, when double sixes come up, I go look at the home side first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will be a reroll. 1, that's John Carlson, and he's going to go up against on Vegas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a reroll. 2, so Carlson versus Belmar, 4 hits. Neither player has hit, and that is going to be all she wrote for this segment. So no opening, so no score, excuse me, no scoring openings, no opening score salvo here from either team as we head to the next segment. Quality check. This time it'll be between players 3 and anybody in the ice for Vegas. The player in question for Washington will be Evgeny Kuznetsov, as he's going to go up against a player for Smart. So either way, Schmidt or England is going to get it. One of them has to go. It'll be England. And it will be England. So both guys are the same quality of Smart, and that is going to be all she wrote for this segment as we continue on to the next segment here for this winner take all game 3. Quality check between players 5 and 3. That is Brett Connolly against Braden McNabb. The quality we're looking for is speed. Brett Connolly has speed, so he's going to move in on Marc-Andre Fleury to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3. Give me a 1, 2, 3, or 4 to stop the Connolly attempt. It won't, and the Capitals get on the board courtesy of Brett Connolly. Oh, yeah. It's flip. We continue on in this segment with another quality check between players 1 and 3. That's Nicholas Backstrom and Jonathan Marchessault. The quality we're looking for is skill. It looks like both Backstrom and Marchessault have skill, and that is going to be all she wrote for this segment, and we will move on to the next one. We got ourselves a penalty check. It'll be between players 2 and anybody in the ice for the Vegas Golden Knights. Unfortunately, if it was double sixes, yes, the home team would score a power play goal. Right now at this point, you could have Vegas go on the power play, but we're going to let the red die. I'm sorry, the decider die decide. We tie, and we will tie. So Dmitry Orlov will tie it up with either England, Tuck, or Carrier. I do want to keep that circle out there just in case. So it's down between Tuck and Carrier. It'll be Carrier. And it will be Tuck. So Orlov will tie with Alex Tuck as both guys have the same penalty rating of 0.5. And that is going to be all she wrote for this first period, but not before Washington gets on the board, courtesy of Brett Connolly, as they head to the locker room up 1-0. We got ourselves a visitor scoring chance. Excuse me. And it's a 46. Any visitor player with a power play circle star symbol creates a power play goal. Yes, William Karlsson has that printed out on his card as he's going to move in on Braden Holtby to hopefully net a 1, 2, 3 or a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop to prevent it.
Which he will do so.
And we move on to the next segment.
Another visitor scoring chance. This time it's going to be a 43. Any visitor player with a triangle creates a goal opportunity. Yes, David Perron has a triangle printed out on his card.
So therefore, he's going to move in on Braden Holtby to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop.
Which he will do so to keep it right here at 1-0.
Another visitor scoring chance. This time it's a 15. Home goalie must make play save. 1, 2, or 3 will do so for Braden Holtby.
Yes, it will.
Nobody flips, and we will move on to the next segment. We got ourselves a quality check between players 5 and 2. That's Matt Niskanen and Nate Schmidt. The quality we're looking for is skill.
Oh, yo. By the hair of their chinny chin chins, they both have skill.
So that is going to be all she wrote
For this second period, as a little bit of eventful, but not too much,
as the Washington Capitals hang on to their 1-0 lead as we head to the third period. We begin the third with a quality check between players 2 for Vegas and
anybody on the ice for Washington.
The quality we're looking for is hit.
Eakin is not going to win this one. The only two players out there that have hits are Wilson and Orpik. I do believe I'm willing to sacrifice the symbols for Orpik.
Well, let's see what the red die decides. Excuse me, the decider die says. It'll be Orpik.
And it will be Orpik. So Orpik will move in on Marc-Andre Fleury as he wins this battle with Cody Eakin for hit. Fleury needs to roll a 1, 2, 3, or 4 to prevent the Orpik goal from getting past him, which it won't. It's 2-0 in favor of Washington, courtesy of Brooks Orpik. I don't know how good that's going to do, but we'll see and find out. Home scoring chance of a 33. Home player in 1, that's Lars Eller. He creates a goal with a quality roll of smart or a triangle. Although Lars Eller does not have a triangle, he does have smart. Well enough to skate on into Marc-Andre Fleury to hopefully net a 1, 2, 3, or 4 to make the stop. It won't, and Lars Eller will score the third goal of the game for Washington. And Washington looks to put this game out of reach for Vegas and looking to repeat history as they went on to win the Stanley Cup in real life. Can they do so on the tabletop? Another home scoring chance as we stay put in this portion of this 5-minute segment with a 42. Any home player with a triangle creates a goal. Absolutely. Alex Ovechkin or John Carlson. Since John Carlson was flipped, I'm going to go with Alex Ovechkin. So Alex Ovechkin will skate on into Marc-Andre Fleury skate on into his office, hoping Marc-Andre Fleury doesn't notice. As Marc-Andre Fleury needs to net a 1, 2, 3, or 4 to make the stop. Which he does. He noticed Alex Ovechkin creeping on into his office. He says, "Nuh-uh, not today, sir." As the game stays put at Washington 3, Vegas nothing. Visitor scoring chance of a 63. Any home player with a circle symbol prevents a power play goal. Yes, John Carlson does have a circle printed out on his card, well enough to prevent the power play goal from scoring for preventing the Vegas power play to score a goal. quality check between players 2 and 3. That's Orlov and England. The quality we're looking for is smart. Both Orlov and England have smart, and we are going to go to the final segment of this hockey game. Home scoring chance of a 51. Um, Visitor defense player in 2. That's Cody Eakin. He stops the Washington goal opportunity with a quality roll of star or a square. Yikes. Cody Eakin does not have star, neither does he have a square. Therefore, Washington is going to score the 4th goal of the game. And let's see who scored it. 4, third best shot rating. So the best out there on the ice is going to be Nicholas Backstrom. The second best is going to be Tom Wilson, and the third best is a tie between Beagle and Christian Juice. Oh, I do want to keep Beagle out there just in case for the face-off rating, so we're going to go with Christian Juice scoring the goal as Washington is putting this game out of reach. 4-0 is the score as we stay put in this segment with a penalty check between players 4 and 1. That's Wilson and Miller. It looks like Tom Wilson is going to go to the box as Cullen Miller is going to move in on Braden Holtby, hopefully to break the shutout on the power play. 1, 2, or 3, it won't. And it won't. And that is that, folks. Washington hangs on to win it by a final score of 4-0 and win this matchup for the Stanley Cup Finals Rewind 2-1. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Whew. So again, if you like what you saw in today's episode of the Stanley Cup Finals Rewind of the Hockey Blast, or any other episodes of the Hockey Blast Express Hour, a like is very much appreciated, and a comment is optional, but please no derogatory language. State, and of course, we will. Excuse me, and of course, we'll be back with you um, next time here on the Hockey Blast Express Hour when we take a look at another great all-time great franchise set at matchup of goal scoring frenzy when the Chicago Blackhawks take on the New York Rangers. And once again, if you are celebrating Thanksgiving with your friends and family, I hope you have some good food, um, and of course, or excuse me, have a good time, eat some good food, share some memories, and of course, have fun with watching football. And once again, thank you so much for tuning in on this Thanksgiving Eve edition of the Hockey Blast Express Hour for the Stanley Cup Finals Rewind. Once again, the final score here for Game 3, the Washington Capitals shut out the Vegas Golden Knights by a final score of 4-0. And the Caps take this Stanley Cup Finals Rewind matchup, winning 2 games-1. Stay tuned for the game summary as well as the episode summary and final thoughts coming up right after this. Just like in real life, Washington Capitals will retain Lord Stanley as they will win this Stanley Cup Finals Rewind matchup here as part of the Hockey Blast Express Hour over the 2017-18 Vegas Golden Knights. Your game summary for Game 3 is presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. And again, we remind you, drink Bitty Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. As always, as big taste at a bitty price, it's Bitty Beer. As you can see, Vegas had nothing to show for as they were shut out, but it was all Washington here in game number 3. Brett Connolly, Brooks Orpik, Lars Eller, and Christian Juice would all score a goal for Washington. Penalties came from the late penalty came for Washington from Tom Wilson. He would, and of course, Braden Holtby would bail him out as he would net a play save to save the shutout for Washington. Your quality check winners are as follows: Brett Connolly and Brooks Orpik. Connolly would win the battle for speed, and Brooks Orpik would also win the battle for hits. The key plays of the game are as follows, as presented by your favorite Bitty Bear products, as always. In the first period, nothing happened as Brett Connolly would score the own goal in the first period to make it 1-0 Washington after one. And of course, in the second period, in the first three segments, man oh man, Braden Holtby was standing on his head. He would make a triple threat slew. He play saves to keep the shutout intact, or Washington would go on to score two more times, and then again in the third, one more time to preserve the shutout. Again, as mentioned in the third, in the 20th minute, Tom Wilson would take a late penalty, but Braden Holtby would bail him out and with a key play save on the power play to preserve the shutout victory. Here are your 3 stars of the game for game number 3, as presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. It was tough to choose, but if I were making the choices, here would be your 3 stars of the game. Christian Juice would net star number 3 honors as he would score the game winner. Brett Connolly would score the ice-breaking goal in the first period as he would take home star number 2 honors. But you know what? I really have to give Braden Holtby his props, man. Braden Holtby would take home star number 1 honors as he would net a shutout win and record 22 unofficial saves. And finally, before we close things out, here are your 3 stars from this matchup. Of course, star number 3 would have to go to William Karlsson as he would net 2 goals for Vegas. He would be their top scorer in the matchup. And of course, star number 2, I really had to give it to the goaltender, Marc-Andre Fleury for Vegas, as he would record 1 win and 1 loss. But of course, star number 1, I would have to give to Braden Holtby. He would net 2 wins, including a shutout. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Stanley Cup Finals Rewind. If you like what you saw, a like is very much appreciated, as well as if you've not done so already, it's optional, but subscribing to my channel will help me out as well along on my YouTube journey. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Stanley Cup Finals Rewind as part of the Hockey Blast Express Hour.
We hope that you enjoyed today's episode of Stanley Cup Finals Rewind as we rewind back the clock to the 2018 Stanley Cup Final featuring the Washington Capitals and the Vegas Golden Knights. But unfortunately, we're going to have to say goodbye for today's episode. But let's see what's coming up next time here on the Hockey Blast Express Hour. Oh boy, and it looks like we're going to have another goal-scoring frenzy matchup as this time the Chicago Blackhawks of the all-time franchise greats of both the Chicago Blackhawks and the New York Rangers will battle it out in a fierce 60-minute frenzy battle, I should say, to see who can score the most goals in 60 minutes. Stay tuned for that episode to drop at 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK time here on the channel. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Hockey Blast Express Hour. We look forward to bringing you more episodes of Rivalry Night, Stanley Cup Finals Rewind matchups, and goal scoring frenzy throughout the 2025-26 National Hockey League season.